Hello and welcome to another edition of Full Throttle. This afternoon we have introduce yourself, man.
My name is Kyle Wissner, and thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to interview a guy like me.
So, Kyle, first question I have for you is what got you into racing?
What got me into racing? I started racing when I was 9 years old. My dad used to race. He was from Iowa. He ran jalopies, and he moved to Southern California. We had a house about a mile away from Old Riverside Raceway. And he built a Grand National car at the time. My mother still tells stories about playing cards with Stevie and Darrell Waltrip in their motorhome. I'm named after Kyle Petty and Rookie of the Year Ronnie Thomas. My name's Kyle Thomas Wissner. Um, it's just I've been a racer all my life, and though my life has taken me in a bunch of different directions, I still consider myself a racer first before anything else.
So, talk to us about where where you talk to us about your career so far and what you're most happy about.
Oh, gotcha. So I started when I was 9 and did karts. We didn't come from money, so it was pretty tough to run up there with the top guys. But I learned a lot. I learned how to do the maintenance on the cars, and built all my own cars. Then got into late models. A whole group of racers out in Southern California supported me. Um, Guys like Mark Golombowski and Joe Nava. I was teammates with David Gilliland. When he was running the tour, I was running a super late and just did did that up until I was about 22 years old, and then my dad got sick. I had to make a choice on what to do, and I felt that taking care of him was more important than trying to continue my career. And so for about 4 years, I took care of him through his surgeries and all of the stuff that comes with cancer diagnosis. And um, once he ended up finally passing away, I got a phone call from a friend that worked on a movie set, since I'm in Southern California at the time. And he said, I hear you need some work. And I got a job taking out the trash on a movie set. And that led to working in film and producing and acting and driving camera cars and all that fun stuff. And in between that, I got a job with Richard Petty Driving Experience and taught people how to take a stock car around a mile and a half racetrack. And that also got me into doing thrill rides with Hellcats and Vipers with the SRT track experience. And that's the day that I met Jesse. We were at an event. He came over and wanted to find out what we did with all the used tires because we had a trailer full of new tires and a 18 wheeler trailer full of used tires because we would literally go through a whole set in about 35 minutes. Um, and I told him, of course, I can't sell them. They're not mine. But I got to talking to him and I noticed something in him, the way he presented himself, and um, found that he was a naval officer and all the different great things he was doing in drag racing at the time. And asked him if he ever wanted to get into a stock car. Got him into a late model. And I like to say I gave him a roadmap, but he climbed the mountain himself. And all these years later, he started a team with Emmett Smith, and then he reached back and said, "Hey, Kyle, you want to come work for the team?" So I started at the bottom of that team doing tires, and worked my way up to being the assistant director of racing operations. And I make sure the cars get put together and set up and put in the hauler and to the racetrack, and make sure race day goes the way that it needs to. And um, but in this whole process, it's brought me full circle. And a couple of weeks ago, I got the phone call from NASCAR saying that I was approved to run in the truck series. And so I'm back to doing what I'm actually good at, which is wheeling a car, and so or a truck in this case. So this year, looking to make my debut. I've got to make it on a mile and under track. So either Bristol or Martinsville or any of these of the short tracks would be a good spot. But still looking for the sponsorship money and knocking on doors and have a lot of meetings lined up. So it's looking promising, and I'm really excited about what this year is going to hold.
Who is the team that's going to help you get that opportunity that NASCAR gave you?
Jesse Wuji Motorsports is definitely a key group that made all of this stuff happen. But there's a bunch of other truck teams that are out there. I've in talks with a couple of them as well. It all just depends on how everything pans out and where we land. And it also comes down to how much sponsorship money we can find because each one of those teams asks a different amount, and the top running teams, it's quite a lot of money. And even so, you're looking a medium run team, you're looking at about 75,000 to 120,000 to run one race.
Awesome. So where do you want to make your debut at then, I guess would be my next question. Where does Kyle want to race?
I mean, there's so like the variables on that, right? Like if you look at Bristol is such an amazing racetrack, right? Under the lights with all, it's a Coliseum. It's a spectacle. It's amazing, right? But then the North Wilkesboro race is, I mean, it's iconic at this point, and I'd love to get a chance to get in on that race as well because I hope they continue to do this for years to come, but this would be like the second year doing it, and I think it'd be an awesome deal to do that. I'm really good at Martinsville style flat tracks. That's where I cut my teeth. I started racing at Orange Show Speedway when I was a kid, and like Chocolate Myers calls that the Bowman Gray of the West. We have like
Home day of the West, huh?
yeah, yep. So we had like tire marks going up the billboards, and like it's the madhouse of the West Coast. But I'm good with the flat tracks and short proximity, running inches off of people, and root them up racing or get on the outside of them and pin them down so you can get a run off and all that fun stuff. So I mean, it just depends. It depends on what opportunity presents itself and where the sponsor would like to showcase their brand. Each one of the racetracks is located in a different area of the country, so that could be beneficial to them. They're all televised nationally, so that also helps. But um,
Yeah.
what I want is one thing, what happens is another. But I just hope no matter what, I'm strapping into a truck and putting my visor down and getting ready to go.
All right. So I'm a big NASCAR fanatic myself. So who in NASCAR are you looking up to as a role model? I know you talked a lot about Jesse, but there must be someone else that you're in touch with that you kind of like to talk to and get advice from, or maybe it is this Jesse, but
Well, Jesse and I mean, I definitely look up to Jesse. I, I won't put words in his mouth, but I hope he looks up to me too. We're good friends, and but as far as folks that I consider like role models and that have helped shape my career, um, there I've met a lot of really good people in NASCAR, folks that have taken the time to extend, well wishes and whatnot. And there's a couple guys over at Hendrick Motorsports who've done that and really made my day when they mention how well of a car I've put together, and they notice my work ethic, and I appreciate that from such a big team. As far as drivers go. D David was a teammate years ago, and I look up to all he's been able to accomplish with the Daytona 500 all the way to creating an amazing race team that he's got put together with Tricon. Um, there's it's interesting because I think as you go along in your career, you can look up to the greats, the Jeff Gordons and these folks that have completely changed Kevin Harvick and all of this. But at this point in my life, I think I'm kind of becoming the elder of the group, and a lot of the kids that are coming into the sport that are 18 and 19 years old, It's really nice to give them the advice and help them grow and watch them their confidence build just based off of the conversations we have. So it's it there's always going to be those people I look up to, but now I think I feel it's really awesome to be the person that can help grow other talent as well.
So talk to us about your relationship with Jesse. You speak very highly of him. Do you think he's going to be a big influence on what track he thinks you should do for your debut? Will you talk to him about that or not really?
Well, I'm sure we will. The thing about Jesse and what he's been able to accomplish, I have never met anybody in my life that can manifest a dream or a reality like he can. And I've met a lot of people. He's able to take he says, okay, this is the goal, this is what we're going to go do. And he figures out a way to do it. If there's a roadblock, he finds a way around it. If there's a hurdle, he jumps over it. That's, I think, the biggest leading by example that has helped me as well because he's not going to do it for me just like I didn't do it for him. I gave him a roadmap. I said, you got to go do this, go try this, go do that, and then there's the top of the mountain, go climb it. He's doing the same, right? He's not going to hold my hand and say, "Okay, we're going to get you a ride and do this type of thing." He's going to say, "Okay, this is what you should do. Look at this, try this, and then come back to me and tell me how it works out." And I appreciate that because, there's a lot of people in the world who get things handed to them and given to them. And, not being one of those people, I'm glad that I have to work for it because it makes it that much sweeter.
Well, yeah, I wish I was on the Cook Series schedule because that would be easy for us to meet.
Yeah, definitely. If when all that stuff comes about and get you out there, you can come. I'll get you a hot pass. You hang out in the pits with us, and I'll show you the hauler and the truck and all of that fun stuff. You be there all the way up until we get ready to go run, and everybody shoos everybody off, and then you can go hang out in the pit box.
All right,
Yeah,
sounds
man.
like fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I appreciate you coming on for Fargo today.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for taking half of your Sunday, and I know you probably got people you want to thank, so I'd be remiss not to let you do that. So who do you want to thank?
Thank you. Well, first, again, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to hang out online. And there's nothing else I'd rather do than talk about racing on a Sunday anyway. Um, Other than that, of course, Jesse Wuji Motorsports, Selly Productions. I'd like to thank Sudden Impact Auto Body. They supported me quite a bit growing up. They're out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, Ted's Rod Shop. That's a custom car builder out of Southern California. They do amazing work. Um, the list goes on and on with folks that have been there to help me, and I couldn't be more appreciative of everybody involved. And KLR Management. They set all of this up to be able to talk with you, and they're doing great things in the sport and helping folks build their racing careers, in a cost-effective way. And I'm really appreciative of them too. So
Yeah, KR Motorsports has been really helpful to me. So,
yeah, they're great folks. Tanya over there and Lockrow. I had met Lockrow years and years ago. We actually worked together, and I saw it in him then. I said, you know what? You've got the manager feel. You could do that. And he, all these years later, he started it, did it, and has a whole roster of drivers. So anybody out there who's looking to get into motorsports, no matter what level you're at, and you need some advice and you need some folks to be able to guide you through that, go check out KLR Management.
all right. Yeah, we'll do it for this edition of Full Follow. Goodbye, everyone.